Alright, guys, welcome to the first episode of our stream with me, Azad, and with me here,
Hi, I'm Jason. Call me Ding.
you're Ding.
I'm Ding.
So you're Ding.
I'm
Okay.
Ding.
So welcome to the first ever episode pertama kita untuk kita punya podcast Order Lawyer Kopi dan kawan-kawan.
Betul.
Kita punya stream ni kita wujudkan untuk bincangkan orang kata sekarang ni punya isu lah. Any legal issue yang berlaku pada masa sekarang, dan kita cuba perjelaskan so that everyone can appreciate the issues at hand, dan also at the same time untuk berkongsi our view
On the layman's term.
layman's, and as well to express the thoughts to
Ah.
everyone. And at the same time kita juga akan review coffee.
Oh.
Okay, kenapa kopi? Why coffee?
Because coffee is the fuel of civilization.
Ooh.
No, but it's true. It is true. It is true.
I can't deny it.
No,
Betul,
it's
betul.
true.
It's a strong statement.
It is, but it's true.
Nah,
Because coffee is when the culture of drinking coffee starts, it's one of the drive of the philosophical revolution, the scientific discovery. These are all actually partly because of coffee, and you can research this. You can research this.
Okay, so we'll have a look into it. So at the same time kita akan explain apa pendapat kita tentang certain coffee, and is it any good. Dan at the very end, of course, kita akan buat sedikit perbincangan lah. We'll have a bit of a chat tentang life and about how it leads us as working men. Okay, we are basically your salary man. So it's a bit of a talk about the lifestyle. So without further ado, let's have a look and drink some coffee.
Yep.
Let's have a chat about our first coffee of the week.
Yep.
Kopi minggu ini.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're back. Okay, originally sebenarnya kita punya this week punya coffee was supposed to be Zeus CEO coffee.
coffee.
So we wanted to have the CEO coffee. Unfortunately, for some reason or other, bila kita chat dalam Grab, it's tak ada. All the kedai tutup.
Is it Ipoh saja tutup ke ataupun the whole Malaysia tutup ke?
I
No, we didn't
have-
try to check that.
I think it's probably Ipoh je kot. No way. Probably something to do with Grab punya app ke, I tak tahu. But so we fikir cara lain, what other coffee do we have? And we decided to go with Bas Bear punya, this is the Americano. Why Americano?
Because it's just coffee and water.
Yes.
And sugar.
Exactly. It's the
Yeah,
basic
it's
of
the
all
basic,
coffee. It's the espresso, campur some water and drink it. It's the bare bones
Yeah.
of the coffee.
So
that
you really taste the coffee itself, the quality
I
of
mean-
the coffee and things like that.
if you want to go for purity, the option is espresso itself.
Espresso, I think that one's a bit much.
For this time agak mungkin tak berapa sesuai lah kot.
Tak tidur malam.
So this is Bas Bear punya Americano. Let's give it a try, shall we?
Sure. Alright.
Alright, jom. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Oh, that hits. Oh, that hits.
That's that roasted punya taste. Is that roasted taste yang macam masam-masam
Yes.
sikit? That's the roasted punya taste,
That's the roast.
fermentation.
That could very well be it.
Yes.
But at the same time, nak kata dia kuat sangat, tak. It's not overwhelmingly sampai you rasa macam, ada setengah tu bila certain coffee, bila dia pahit sangat, you minum pun macam,
No, this is not pahit. I don't think this is pahit. This is,
yeah.
how do I say this?
I wouldn't say it's smooth.
No, it's not. I wouldn't say it's smooth. You're right. It's not smooth, but it's not rough on the tekak.
Agreed.
It hits you. It's not in your face, but it's
And-
nice actually.
And I like it because dia tak ada that milk punya hit. Because nowadays, a lot of people drink lattes, milk. And sometimes milk ni dia removes the sharpness of the coffee and dia punya shock value. This, it feels very shocking, and I can drink this again and again. I can
Yes,
sip on this.
yes, can.
Kalau katakan you guys in a traffic jam sekarang ke, nak head back, would you drink this?
Oh yes, definitely. This helps supaya tak accident.
That's true.
I do work the whole day.
Yes.
You're tired. You're in the car. It's aircon. It's a comfortable seat. I'm hoping your cars are comfortable seat, which is very important. This helps
Having
drive home.
this while you're drinking, while you're driving and sipping on this all the way. I think this one you tak muak. Unlike that some lattes yang I
Yes.
rasa, it has that muak. punya.
If you have, sometimes the latte is heavy towards the milk side, so the milk overpowers the coffee and dia rasa muak.
And I have this problem with certain lattes. I mean, no, somehow the milk causes me macam flatulence. So sometimes rasa stuffed, rasa bloated. I don't know why. It's either the coffee
Are
bean
you-
itself.
Are you lactose intolerant?
I'm not. So far as I know, I'm not. So dia pelik tu kadang-kadang some coffee yang kita minum yang latte and rasa after a while macam
Remember reading it somewhere again,
Again.
Jack of most trades. So Jack of most trades. I remember reading it somewhere that Asians, us being Asians,
okay.
Asians actually there's a high percentage of Asians which is lactose intolerant. But kita tak tahu. because we don't get tested for those things. You get that?
That's true.
So I don't know. I'm not saying that you are lactose intolerant. I'm just saying that.
Could be, but drinking this for the price, this is not that expensive.
Oh,
Two
what
of
is it,
them
by the way?
belas ringgit. I think this is like $10 plus. Lebih
Satu.
kurang itu. One each.
Okay.
Of course, it beats making your own coffee.
Of course.
But having this, I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
No,
Tapi betul you cakap, ada rasa masam sikit kan?
that is because of the roast, or is it because of the fermentation of the beans?
That is a question we need to ask Bas Bear. Or our coffee snob,
Coffee,
our coffee
coffee
snob,
snob.
Adiru, who will be featured someday.
One day you guys will be meeting him.
Yes.
One day.
Okay. Kalau coffee macam ni, if you're having, how much of it?
As in, how many?
Yeah,
Depends. In morning, I'll probably go for 1-2 glasses just to kickstart the day. At night, just to ensure I get home safe. So one probably. Anything more than that, coffee does not affect my sleep.
Okay. But at the same time,
you don't want to have too much of it.
At the same time, kalau kata have something like this in your hand, you keep sipping from it. It's something to do. So when you're driving, of course, guys, keep safe, stay safe. I know some of you guys start dalam jam hujan-hujan ni kan.
Drink and drive, please.
Drink
coffee and drive.
coffee and drive.
Drink coffee and drive.
So I would highly recommend. Would you recommend this?
I would recommend this. It's nice to drink actually. It's not bad.
And satu pasal Bas Bear that I like, especially in near Batu Gajah, it opens early. Some other coffee providers, will not name names, dia orang buka lambat. So macam kita pagi nak rush pergi work kan, we order ahead and pick up by the drive-thru. Oh, it's already open.
Usually what time coffee coffee shops? No, not coffee shops, sorry.
Cafes.
Okay, sorry. I'm not French, dude. Un café, la café.
Okay, it's usually I think paling kurang by 8 je dah.
Yalah.
But if possible earlier lah 7 because kita punya commute is around that time.
Maybe not in Ipoh. KL, yes. KL, you're talking about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, people are out of the house. Or probably...
For me as a lawyer, I would travel very early. I gerak 30. So, kalau for example, I'm going to court yang terpencil sikit or further off from Ipoh lah. See, I have to drive an hour and a half away. So, I'd like to have a bit of coffee early on. Starting
7.
That'll be the idea lah. So, anyway, this is the coffee and I would say we give it a thumbs up.
I like it. Thumbs up, thumbs up.
Americano is from Bas Bear.
Yep.
Alright, so, okay, the current topik at the moment lah. Yang rotan-merotan dekat sekolah. So even apparently ada cikgu yang tuduh. So let's have a discussion. Apa kes minggu ni? Alright? Okay, so semenjak ni Ding, aku duk tengok dalam Facebook and sometimes on the news portal, ada berita yang saddening that we hear 2 orang guru is currently being charged for an offence under section 324 which is causing hurt using a weapon on the pretext that diorang ni cikgu-cikgu ni ada rotan student lah.
Sorry, rotan is considered a weapon? That's my first question.
Well, yes. Well, truth be told, anything that can be used to cause harm can be deemed a weapon. So penyapu pun weapon, getah pun weapon.
Okay.
So anything can be deemed a weapon. But the question here is, should merotan students kat sekolah be allowed or not?
That's the thing. My question is that bila kita stop merotan, I don't remember macam back when we are in school,
Okay.
it's a different story. Every cikgu bawa rotan.
Yeah.
Not one.
In
All.
In fact, there are cases yang macam some parents would bagi rotan kat cikgu. Okay, ni dan ni rotannya.
Hadiah dia.
Selagi-
Pengeras.
Selagi tak patah tangan, buta mata, ajarlah guna rotan ni.
Ah.
But that's a good question. Truth be told,
I don't remember. But then again, I'm not from the law background. You are from the law background. Is there a certain set point in time where KPM keluar or Parlimen buat law undang-undang Parlimen, right?
Yes, Parlimen.
So Parlimen keluar arahan cakap merotan adalah kesalahan di bawah section 124 just now, is it?
324.
Sorry, 324.
Okay, just to be absolutely clear, 324 ni causing hurt using weapon ni, ini is a general thing. It's not specifically pada cikgu di sekolah. So kalau you meet someone along the road yang angkat kayu ketuk kepala dia, that's 324. Okay, depending on the injury lah. Kalau injury tu teruk, patah tulang, then it becomes 326 and even further.
Causing grievous hurt. Betul ke?
Grievous. So dalam, it's not a provision specifically untuk kata cikgu tak boleh rotan kanak-kanak. What you asking is correct. I pun tak sure exactly when did we stop. Was there any time period yang dikatakan tak boleh?
KPM keluar berkeliling ke?
Because, of course, KPM keliling will not be shown. As we would know.
That's
The
true,
teachers
that's
out
true,
there would
that's
know. there would probably be practice guidelines that was put out. Tapi I think the change has been due to the fact that kita ada banyak pressure daripada negara luar. I mean, international bodies. But of course, the Charter for the Rights of Children brought forth and banyak yang push that agenda that children are to be protected, and any form of corporal punishment against children is either extremely frowned upon ataupun some countries would push for it to be made illegal terus.
But you do realize that saying spare the rod, spoil the child is a Western concept kan? We're talking about the Eastern, kita punya Eastern values, not Eastern values, kita Asian values.
Okay.
We're talking Asian values. Rotan is part of our Asian values. In fact, in some ways, it's also a Muslim value.
I see.
You get that? Not say kita kena rotan budak, tapi there is a certain, macam kalau budak-budak kita tak sembahyang, kita boleh. Tapi dia ada guideline lah. Pukul dekat lutut ke bawah and things like that. But there is a guideline for that punishment. So it is that value, and apparently Western but that value. Spare the rod, spoil the child.
I agree. But that's the thing. I think it's not where it came from. Bukan datang daripada asas mana. I think values berubah over time.
Over time.
So,
Okay, that makes sense.
Banyak jadi perubahan masa, perubahan zaman menyebabkan ada pertukaran dari segi nilai. Certain rights yang dulu kita anggap sebagai, macam if you have to remember, back in the 1700s or was it before that, children can be made to work.
Yes.
Okay?
And then
Now there is a
ada
law.
dia punya law of children tak boleh bekerja or below 12 tak boleh bekerja. No, I think they start below 12 first tak boleh bekerja. And after that they increase the age to.
Okay, sorry, I'm just going to have to take a short pause kejap just to address our producer. Cik Fitri, I think some people are not seeing the stream, so we need to post the stream up. Have a check dekat YouTube, is it on? So far, I'm seeing it, tapi tak nampak it running at the moment. Maybe send the link to the firm group. I just have to, because, okay, sorry guys, there's a bit of a teething issue.
Yeah.
Kita masih lagi agak trying new ways, but at the moment, we're streaming through many channels. We're going to YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and other venues as well. Facebook sekarang ni belum boleh lagi. So, let me just send this over to the rest of the guys. I think, can we also delete the previous post yang pasal the stream? Sorry guys, this is going to take us a little bit of time. Sorry, going off track sikit.
But the discussion is quite nice.
Thank you. Okay, so I think let's hope this issue is addressed. Kalau tak, nanti kita akan post the stream up for the rest lah to have a look at. Okay, you were saying that this was originally a Western punya idea, the spare the rod, spoil the child. And like I've said, benda ni values dah berubah over time, and now kita lebih sensitive terhadap.
We are really sparing the rods, man.
But that's the thing. Is there good justification? Is there good justification untuk kita tak benarkan cikgu untuk merotan? Nowadays, kita worry about, of course, harming children. Budak kanak-kanak ni masih lagi membesar.
Betul.
And there are many ways to teach a child.
There are many ways to
Teaching
skin
a
a cat.
child is essentially teaching them via pain. But is
I
that
think in the end, this is just my pandangan lah. You know, we are parents in some ways. Oh, careful. All right. So how do I put this? Rotan has to be, because the thing is that you have your, satu is niat. Kenapa nak rotan? Kalau lepas marah, just rotan sebab nak lepas geram. That is wrong. Kita tak boleh. But rotan dengan niat nak mengajar, just as a reminder. Tak, macam kita zaman sekolah dulu, kita pun kena rotan juga.
betul? Yes.
But sad to say,
Sad to say. Wow.
sad to say. No, because I was part of the nerd squad, basically.
Okay. How long ago was that? Well, you were in school from what year to what year?
I started standard 1 in 1987.
87. So
Yes.
you left school at?
1997?
Okay, so 80s/90s punya child.
Itu
So during that time masih ada rotan?
Ada. I remember my cikgu disiplin walks around with a rotan.
And cikgu disiplin bersebut tu, it's scary.
Oh,
It's really scary.
Apparently some schools sekarang tak ada cikgu disiplin, what I heard. Which is,
Okay, kejap. Sorry. I'm getting a few comments from people yang tak dapat masuk the stream. Kejap. I think there's a little bit of an issue. We need to repost everything to everyone. Goodness God. Give me a moment, guys. I'm really sorry about this, but it's a little bit of a teething issue at the moment. Okay, so we're back. During those times, you were saying that you were part of the nerd squad, and you said it was based on intention. But at the same time, kan, I have to one thing kita kena always ingat. For myself lah, I always remember be like,
it's a lesson, right?
it's a lesson. And it's usually macam lesson tu I tak akan lupa sampai bila-bila. Because I remember Form Form 3, cikgu BM tak siap karangan. Karangan was sent over the weekend and be reminded my mother mengajar kat sekolah yang sama. Okay.
Oh, that's awkward.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
yes. Okay. So, my teacher tu, of course, the rest kena rotan. Anak cikgu pun dia kena rotan juga.
Makcik?
So, of course, dipanggil ke depan lah. Duduk. And then, but I was clever at the time. I thought I was clever. I letak wallet dalam I punya back pocket.
Does that work? I know people do that, but
That's the thing. Cikgu nampak lah kan. Cikgu tahu lah. So, it was removed. It was like, keluar wallet tu. Okay lah, bawa keluar wallet atas meja. And then, kena. And that's the thing. Like it or not, macam it's, of course, it's considered a little bit of violence, but it's something that stuck to me to this day yang aku tak lupa. It's a lesson that I don't think I'll ever forget. Now, the thing about sebat ataupun not sebat,
pukul sebat rotan.
Rotan, in my opinion, it needs to be tetapi with extremely precise guidelines.
Yes.
So that bukan setiap benda you nak libas.
Of course.
Okay. In what situation kita boleh rotan?
Alright. And satu lagi is this, like I think the reason kenapa KPM stop this whole rotan-merotan thing is because they are trying to, like you said lah, modernize the teknik mengajar in a way. Okay, so what they do is they stop because there are other ways to teach. There are other ways nak bagi pengajaran. KPM is correct saying that different people have different way of nak mengajar, which is correct. But so I think the rotan needs to be an option because there are some that is the way nak mengajar orang. Some tak, because the thing is that back in high school, yes, I was part of the nerd squad. The nerd squad bukan cakap kita tak nakal, kita nakal juga.
Okay.
Nakal. But our punishment is different because of kalau kena rotan, it does not stop us from doing the same thing.
Okay.
So, kita orang punya punishment is different because we are driven by different things. The nerd squad was driven by different things. You're in a classroom of 47, my classroom, 47 people in the class. 47. It's quite a big classroom. And then di kelas yang, diorang panggil kelas pandai lah basically.
Okay.
So, we tend to get into trouble, but not the usual trouble. It's just when you have a bunch of smart people in the class.
What trouble do you get into? You got to give us an example.
Okay. So, we used to do gymnastics in class.
Gymnastics in class?
Yes. Kita susun meja and we jump across the table. Things like that. So, see how many tables can you jump across or how many chairs can you jump across. And we play football in the class.
Okay, I get it.
Dekat belakang. Because kelas kita besar, we use about half the class. Kat belakang is basically our playground. So, because of again, the nerd squad, so we don't actually play sport sangat. So, our sport is in the classroom. So the punishment is usually bukan rotan, is all our stuff yang kita orang suka akan diambil.
I see. Tak betul rotan ni, I'm not belittling it. I faham. I understand why some parents rasa marah sebab anak dia orang besarkan and to have somebody else and rotan and the way you're teaching a child through fear. Tetapi there are times yang rasanya it may be employed. It depends on apa yang dibuat, apa kesalahan yang dibuat.
It is teaching a child. Yes, it's through fear, but it's teaching. Itu yang the operative word dah, is teaching.
True, because a child at that age kadang-kadang bila kanak-kanak at certain age dia tak faham tindakan dia, apa yang dia buat, what's wrong, apa consequence dia. And to explain to a child, some children yes, boleh you boleh explain kenapa tak boleh buat macam ni, apa semua. But some children dia tak ada that capacity. So that's why it has to be used judiciously. Kena hati-hati dengan siapa. Tak semua budak boleh dirotan. Okay.
Tak semua kesalahan boleh dirotan.
Betul. I think it should be reserved only to the ones yang kita consider as something yang sangat berat, kesalahan yang agak berat, kesalahan yang perlu orang kata satu pesanan yang tak dilupakan. Okay. In that sense, sebab remember last time masa kita kat sekolah ada juga insiden di mana guru pukul student dengan terlampau rotan ataupun dia hukuman yang terlampau berat. Ingat masa saya darjah was it standard 5 ke standard 6, ada one student tu dia kena, you tahu ya, big yellow ruler yang kelas tu. Okay. Cikgu tampar muka dia guna.
I think that is where the rules come in, I think.
That's the thing. Benda, kesalahan dia was dia hilang buku jogaton. Yang kutip sekolah kan.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because of that, somebody got really angry and the teacher rasa takut budak tu ambil duit tu. So, he did that. And it's obviously wrong. Benda macam tu, it's barbaric to a point.
Yes.
In fact, nak rotan orang, under the law, nak rotan kanak-kanak is allowed at one time. Sekarang ni dah dimansuhkan. Under the Child Act, a while back, kita ada rotan kanak-kanak.
Okay. I did not know this. Okay.
When I was the magistrate, I did sentence some children untuk dirotan. But it usually involved kesalahan yang menunjukkan this. Dia punya what do you call that, dia punya niat budak. Okay, dalam
Hmm.
kes ni yang I bagi sebatang kanak-kanak tu sebab that child cabul adik sendiri.
Ah,
And
berat lah.
it was something horrendous. So in my mind, I kena do something that
Hmm.
provides for intervention. Something yang dia akan tak lupa.
Hmm.
And penjara kita is trained to provide for rotan kanak-kanak. And this is different daripada sebatan dewasa. So I pernah tengok, I pernah masuk penjara Kajang,
Ah.
tengok dia orang buat sebat dewasa.
I've watched that demo previously.
Yes.
I don't know why. I don't remember how.
But
I've seen it. Well,
Diorang-
it's not like macam sebat kita kat sekolah. It's like
Yeah.
macam you draw, you cock, and it just macam.
dia punya swing dia ada dia punya practice angle.
Correct.
And
Yes.
they have certification. Ada certain pihak yang berkelayakan untuk sebat kanak-kanak. Okay, so and diorang punya cara diorang buat pun rotan itself is much thin sangat compared to yang dewasa punya. Cara dia kalau nak rotan tu, before dia nak start rotan, kena ada pemeriksaan doktor untuk sahkan boleh sihat tak untuk dirotan. Dan rotan dibuat dalam at that point in time dalam mahkamah tertutup. Okay, nobody else can watch. Hanya pihak mahkamah, pihak penjara dan kalau ada family, serta lawyer kalau ada. Dan masa nak rotan tu, dia ada prosedur dia. Tangan dia kena kepit. Tak boleh angkat siku ni. So that really restricts. Sebabnya, I think the thing yang orang kena consider, rotan ni by essence sebenarnya bukan untuk menyakitkan.
Mengajar.
Satu, it's supposed to make contact. It's supposed to kita rasa terkejut. Tapi bukannya kita nak cederakan budak tu. That's the thing yang ramai orang salah faham. Ramai, dan tambah bila emotions tengah high, some people get carried away. That's why I think kalau nak reintroduce balik pun rotan, which I believe KPM had recently discuss on this topic untuk bring it back and limit it only kepada guru besar dan gadis. But we haven't seen any actual declaration keluar lagi sekarang ni. But in such situations, nak rotan tu kena ada cara, kena ada teknik dan kena faham apa sebab dan apa tujuan.
I think in a way it's quite a good kalau katakan that they bring back rotan and then they limit it to guru besar dengan siapa lagi seorang? Dia dua orang kan dia.
Guru disiplin.
Guru disiplin. Okay. Guru besar, guru disiplin. I think in a way it's a good thing sebab apa tau? Because biasa macam zaman kita dulu, every cikgu ada rotan. Hang buat salah kat cikgu tu rotan hang. So,
ustaz mengajar-mengaji pada rotan ke?
Ustaz mengajar-mengaji buat rotan. So, if hang buat cikgu tu marah and cikgu tu rotan hang, part of the rotan hang tu is part of the emotion kan. But in this case, it's a third party yang merotan. So they can, in my mind, I'm not sure in real life macam mana, but in my mind, should be an impartial punya, macam cikgu cakap, oh dia buat kesalahan sia-sia. And then the guru besar, dia cakap, okay kita rotan, tapi it's impartial. You get tak? It's not like there's no emotional involved because of yang merotan tu is not the party tu yang kesalahan berlaku. Maybe. I don't know. I look at it that way.
I think it's something that we can consider juga sebab yelah, lagi pun nak spare the rod, spoil the child pun satu. But at the same time, kadang-kadang kesian kat cikgu. Because children hantar ke sekolah, some of them, I'm not saying all parents are bad, but some children, dia punya behavior, dia punya sikap dekat sekolah, kadang-kadang susah nak dikawal, kadang-kadang ada setengah cikgu boleh nampak ada masalah didikan di rumah, which is brought forth masa budak datang ke sekolah. So, in what manner can they?
Betul lah.
In what manner can
I
they?
think,
and dia kena ada tools dia to face certain issues dan tengok pada kesalahan dia buat juga. Tak boleh lah semua benda kena.
tak boleh
So it must be reserved for only very heavy offences, kesalahan yang berat, something yang betul-betul requires attention dan bukan given willy-nilly.
Oh tak.
Benda ni kena, I think paling kurang perlu dibincangkan terlebih dahulu before a person is rotan. Or maybe, this is one thing to consider, maybe minta kebenaran parent before kanak-kanak tu dirotan. Because
I don't know how I feel. No, okay. I think as parents pun kita kena, bukan kita hantar anak kita pergi sekolah. In a way we are trusting our kids punya education to the school.
yes,
Zaman-zaman parents kita dulu, we know that tiap budak kita diajar untuk hormat siapa? Hormat mak, hormat ayah. And nombor 3 is cikgu.
betul,
You know?
That's very much yang pegang, especially yang mana yang Muslim. Of course, Asians pun put teachers in high regard.
It's supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
So, kalau always believe that kalau cikgu rotan is because of a reason. So, I would personally again, but I cannot speak for every parents, but personally, I am okay kalau anak aku buat salah kat sekolah untuk cikgu hukum in whatever form yang dia fikir sesuai.
Because we're both parents and we have young children, school-going children. Kita tahulah there are challenges with that. But to me, kenapa kita patut tanya dengan parents ataupun at least get dia punya consent? Sebab satu, of course, they're the guardian. They
Okay.
stand as the guardian and father and mother of the child. Jadi if there's any disciplinary method yang kita nak guna yang melibatkan some form of kekerasan, some form of, I wouldn't say violence, but ada force terlibat, then I think they should have the last word. Kalau dia orang tak agree, then it's up to them untuk eat out the punishment.
Okay.
Sebab kanak-kanak ni dah buat satu kesalahan, dikesan oleh guru dan dapati bahawa problem ni is meruncing.
But it is a standard procedure kalau macam katakan kesalahan berat untuk cikgu panggil parents pergi sekolah, ya?
That's true. That's true. By right pun memang patutnya kalau kata ada kesalahan berat, then of course cikgu should at all points in time refer to the parents, but just to avoid any issues. Okay, so of course some parents have brought the children up tanpa kena pukul, lebih pada bertegur. Some children respond well to that. Some people don't. I'm not judging parents on how they brought up the kids. Tapi kalau katakan if the child needs to be rotan, then perhaps we should talk to the family or at least dapat consent from the family to do that. To avoid
I agree. So basically what we're saying is that kalau KPM is really serious in talking about buka balik this rotan punya, tapi limiting it to the guru besar dengan guru disiplin, as a layman, I totally agree with that. I think that one stops from emotion getting into the punishment method out to the pelajar satu. And I also agree in your suggestion untuk get the parents involved in this case. I think that's the best way moving forward lah.
I think just to be of course to avoid any legal issues yang mungkin.
That's the other thing is the legal issues.
Because remember yang pegang hak tu adalah pada mak ayah. Why not we bawakan dia orang sekali, tanya dia orang punya opinion if they feel that's the right way. Kalau dia orang nak rotan sendiri, itu hal dia orang. And at first, I'm always stand with this one thing. Anak-anak dihantar ke sekolah bukan macam kambing dilepaskan. Bukannya untuk pergi roam. Kanak-kanak tu perlu develop kat rumah juga dulu. In the first place. Jadi tak perlulah kita nak bebankan guru-guru, nak besarkan, nak jaga, nak perbetulkan. But at the same time, if it comes down to, kita faham kanak-kanak berubah over time. Okay, pemikiran dia daripada budak-budak kecil kepada teenagers. Hormon tengah duk raging, ada nak rebel masa tu. Dan masa tu masa yang runcing, yang kita kena careful, kena perhati, tengok. So that at that point in time, kalau kata perlu ada intervention by cikgu, kalau perlu ada rotan, maybe if the parents are agreeable to it. Tetapi sebelum budak-budak tu sampai ke sekolah pun, di rumah tu, parents dah kena main peranan.
Betul. But kita tak disagree with each other lah. Now, my question to you is this.
Okay.
And this is also, I think partly dia involve legal punya issues juga, most probably.
Okay.
At what age?
That's interesting.
Darjah 1? Darjah 2? Darjah 3 onwards?
I think that one requires a lot more research daripada apa yang I boleh provide at this moment. I would think that child of 10 years, kanak-kanak umur 7, 8, 9 tahun is maybe too young to be introduced to something like
high school only?
High school, I think at that time most kids, especially yang mana lelaki dan perempuan dah akhir balik dah,
13 dah kan?
Dah balik. So I think around that time pun mungkin dia boleh consider. Tapi untuk child of 10 years, yang tu I think KPM needs to do real research.
Yes.
Especially yang paling penting, they have to involve child psychiatrists. Okay, to look into the impact of something like this on a child.
Yes. You remember that back in your days, in your school, kita ada guru HCP.
Hal ehwal pelajar.
Yes.
Okay.
Or HEM lah kalau
HEM, hal ehwal murid.
Alright. And then kita ada guru counselling. Do they still have that
Yes.
nowadays?
Yes, I believe I tak tahu on all schools, but I know for my child's school memang ada.
Kan?
School counselor.
My zaman pun ada juga. And then so we have that zaman kita, we have counselors, cikgu counselling, kita ada kita punya guru HP, murid, kita ada guru disiplin.
Okay.
I don't know if nowadays they ada. Maybe they should reintroduce those things. Kalau tak ada lah.
Believe masih ada. Because recently pun I had some discussion with some.
I heard ada sekolah tak ada cikgu disiplin gitu.
Tak ada cikgu disiplin. Wow, okay.
Again, don't quote me on this. I heard. I bercerita dengan among friends kan, but
I think every school should have if they don't, they should. Sebab guru disiplin ni bukannya kerja dia nak pukul je.
Bukan
nak
melakukan orang
kan. Bukan nak melakukan orang. But at the same time, someone who is competent in yang lebih tahu menahu dan is trained
hal ehwal disiplin
untuk hal ehwal disiplin. I agree with that. I think if that's the case, then they should, kalau tak ada guru disiplin, kena ada. Dan guru disiplin paling menakutkan.
Bawa rotan, bawa file jalan-jalan. Takut.
Okay,
my guru disiplin was my English teacher by the way, just FYI.
Okay, so let's have a look at we've had some engagement from the public,
Alright. Okay.
viewers kita yang ask questions and post questions. So just gonna have a look around and maybe you can comment on each one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Tarmizi Bahudin hadir, steady bro payat. Hey, Rizwan Zain, Adiru hadir. Ni kita punya coffee snob.
Ni kita punya coffee shop.
Tunggu kita panggil.
One day.
PKP Crown, tuan. Ini I kenal. I kenal. Okay, KB commented, it's always funny to me that caning adults is considered assault, but caning children, teens are considered as a teaching method. As adults, you're deemed to should know better.
No, but then again, kita ada some crimes yang their punishment is caning.
Yes, that is.
And then kita punya kita punya undang-undang, kita punya law is that bila kita punish orang, incarceration, penjara, caning apa semua is untuk mengajar, betul?
Rehabilitation
yes.
is the word.
Okay. So untuk mengajar lah basically.
Yes,
Rehabilitation. So I think in this case caning an adult is considered mengajar juga macam
education
education. Of course, the caning is not like sikit-sikit lah because I've seen it demoed not on a real people, on a dummy. I feel sorry for the dummy.
Okay, kalau sebatan for adults dalam undang-undang kita, it usually involves kesalahan yang sangat berat.
Yes.
Something that the society tak terima. We find something that's so heinous that we need them to have a deterrent factor. So, of course, sakit tu mengingatkan juga. But again, that is a very different thing as compared to a child. Macam saya cakap, the child punya sebatan ni, it may have the same motion. This is what I believe it should be. It should have the same motion, but it should not have the damage.
Ya, dia tak patut tinggalkan kesan lah.
Yes. Patutnya dia rasa, tapi bukanlah sampai obligat.
Sebab kalau dalam penjara, dia pecah kulit kan?
Usually, yes. I've seen it happen, memang it's
not pretty, I can tell you.
Okay. So, Kabir pun ada further question. Imagine a situation where in a workplace, the boss team lead canes their newly employed worker during workplace training. Kabir, you've been watching too many weird shows. Okay, that looks a bit like old school slavery.
As far as I remember, going to Jabatan Tenaga Kerja punya
training.
Yes, pergi ke dia punya bukan syarahan, training lah basically. Pergi workshop dia dan sebagainya. I think that one it's not specifically stated dalam labor law, but it is implied that there is no corporal punishment supposed to be untuk orang yang bekerja. I think
to my knowledge, no.
Kan?
The only person that can cause you any physical harm legally is the government. The penjara, the prison system, that's where if you've done a crime against society. So employee you tak boleh
buat corporal punishment. In other words, dia tak boleh suruh ketuk ketampi pun kalau
yes. Oh my god.
Because as far as I understand the Malaysian labor law, it's not macam nak cakap, it's not really rigidly police, but it is quite protective towards the pekerja. Cumanya the enforcement part is a bit lacking kadang-kadang.
That's a topic for another
day. But there's no corporal punishment as far as I know lah.
Yeah, so far as I know as well. Okay, so Izwan Zain, Diru still against it. They used to show how they rotan inmates during school trip. Yeah, I think pernah nampak dia tunjuk, and it's supposed to scare kids straight lah.
Maybe I was in college waktu aku nampak tu, because aku punya college dekat Kajang.
I see. Could be. Okay, and Adil also says, I remember our discipline teacher adopt that style of rotan. And Kabir further asks, okay, wouldn't caning cause the students fear the punishment more than fear the consequences of their wrongdoing? Okay, I believe so. There is, of course, the element of fear of the punishment. That in itself acts as a deterrent. Satu benda yang menghindar. Jangan buat salah ni kalau tak nak kena rotan. Okay, because kadang-kadang once the offense dah jadi, it's too late. And guys, kita tengok pun dekat sekolah nowadays, these past few weeks, banyak sangat crime yang happen kat dalam sekolah. It's really scary. Macam the unfortunate
latest
issue of stabbing tu, and then
that was I was quite surprised with that.
It's something shaking. It shakes the core. So maybe this is why people are saying bring back.
Would caning help in that case? I don't think so.
It depends. After it's already done, it's a bit too late.
Of course,
but the effect of caning does not only orang kata affect just the person after the fact. Caning ni, because when it exists, it can be done. You sendiri pun dah takut.
You try not to get into that position.
Yes. And okay, betul. That teaches children through fear. There's no denying it's fear.
But sometimes you need that.
Sometimes you need that. Sometimes I'm not saying that kita patut takutkan anak-anak sampai
No,
takut nak pergi sekolah. No.
I think it's the same thing macam kalau kita cakap dengan anak-anak kan, dia manjat cakap jangan jatuh nanti patah tangan. You're teaching them through fear lah tu.
Ya betul.
Jangan lari nanti jatuh tersandung.
Ya betul.
Aku punya anak umur 4 tahun dia tak ada gigi sebab jatuh sandung. Hilang satu gigi depan. Aduh.
Aduh. But in that sense, it works both ways. It doesn't just kita kata nak fix the issue, nak bagi budak takut the fear of the rotan itself. But pada masa yang sama, think of it this way. The fear of the rotan drives the child not to do that thing.
Act out.
Not to act. Okay. Just janganlah sampai everything you nak bagi takut.
Tak,
Kesian
tak.
budak kan.
Rotan is not the answer to everything.
Yes,
It may be
and-
the answer to something,
Yes.
but not everything.
And
I think even kalau macam tak buat homework kena rotan tu, I think that one a bit.
I think better consult dengan parents dulu.
Besar consult dengan parents. There are some things dekat fly.
Oh, like, that is a topic for another.
Another day.
Okay.
Again, I'm in nerd squad. I don't fly.
So Kabir said, like if a teacher is unavailable or the bad thing can be hidden, the student will just do the bad thing since they can avoid punishment anyways. The thing is, Kabir, that would make the assumption that every child is mischievous to that point and not avoid. You have to remember the fear of the punishment bukan setakat is aimed at certain people. It's aimed at all. So even budak yang ada intention, kadang-kadang ada intention nak buat something pun dia mungkin fikir dua kali. Should I or should I not?
No, because the thing is that kalau macam the fear of caning does not deter a person nak buat, dia akan buat benda tu. But we are targeting people who will be deterred by the fear of caning. you cannot target everybody, but you can at least the majority is deterred.
That's the most important thing. So I think it's a long topic.
It's-
We can go very in depth about. Maybe we might be able to bring an expert someday. Maybe bring a teacher along, or maybe a child psychiatrist or someone who's involved with child development. Kalau korang nak kita do something like that, why don't you guys comment on our channels, like istilah Twitch ke, YouTube ke, Facebook ke, and if you guys nak kita panggil somebody a guest, maybe kita boleh try. But
Cikgu, I would love to get a teacher's punya perspective on this.
that would be great. I think that's important. Maybe you can even bring two types of teachers that are retired who was teaching during our time and the new teachers of this generation. Apa
Correct.
challenges dia orang? We can do that.
I'm still in contact with my cikgu disiplin. And dia tak jauh, dekat je. 2 hours away ya. So
Okay, so now I think it's time for us. It's because if we're gonna go chat about this sampai esok tak habis.
sampai esok tak habis.
Let's go into our next segment pula and we talk about our lifestyle. Okay, so since kita cakap pasal rotan and discipline, I think it's only important for us to look at since kita went through all that as young children and now jadi adults. Did that have any effect on our discipline dalam kita punya daily life? Was it worth it? Did it work out for
It worked out for you.
Oh.
It worked out for me.
betul-betul disiplin yang diinstil dulu.
Yes.
Okay, my cikgu ni dulu, I ingat cikgu disiplin I sangat garang. Kos muka bengis. Masa sekolah rendah especially. And kita takut. And because of that, you stayed on the straight and narrow. And you kena ingat, I anak cikgu.
Oh,
Anak cikgu ni satu, kalau I kena kat sekolah, I boleh kena
dekat rumah. Yes. Double whammy.
Double whammy. So, the incentive to steer clear, to avoid going outside the lines. Maybe in that sense, dia menyebabkan I kurang adventurous. A little bit.
No, but you can be adventurous within the bounds of discipline.
Kan, no doubt. Cuma to me, I think sebab I would try to stay within the ambit of the law and try not to get, because I ingat I nampak kawan-kawan I kena rotan apa semua. I takut, I don't want to be like them. So kadang-kadang bila dia orang nak buat benda yang fun, I would avoid. I would say no because I tahu I takut, and it served me well. Ada kawan-kawan we have friends in our life yang maybe dia orang dah stray from the path, go through some misfortunes, and we were fortunate to avoid that, maybe because partially is the discipline. I ingat dulu masa dekat sekolah asrama, kalau budak-budak bangun lambat tu subuh kan, nak perhimpunan. Oh, kalau warden datang mengamuk dengan tak kisahlah apa batang penyapu, penswing. Tapi because of that, I think kita belajar to really think about time. In your industry, I think keeping time is very important.
Yes.
So what do you think?
Discipline, in my industry, discipline is multifaceted. Time is one thing. The discipline to macam nak cakap, to treat the guests as a priority is one thing. Because it takes discipline to do that. You may have issues at work. You may have...
You will.
You will. No, sorry. I'm sorry. No. I don't know where that comes from. Anyway, you will have issues at work. You will... It might not be your day.
True.
It happens. But that you need a certain discipline to be able to keep the guests as a priority. Time is very important. Kita, especially in my industry, we work in shifts. You have to be on time every time, because you miss your time slot, it affects the next shift. It affects the shift after that.
And macam for your service pun, your industry, my industry definitely kan macam
you
sekolah
cannot be
dulu,
late for court.
of course. Masa not just time keeping. When you think about it, zaman sekolah dulu, okay, rambut panjang apa jadi?
Oh, kena.
Sama ada kena tarik kat sini,
Kena potong rambut terus.
Kena potong rambut terus. Okay, ataupun you baju comot, baju kotor,
Yes.
kasut tak kapur.
No, but that's the thing. Budak-budak zaman sekarang, they don't go through that. Why? Kasut hitam. Which is for me, macam mana cakap, rasa geram juga. Macam but at least you can talk, you can say to, I can talk to my child. Back in my days, we went uphill both ways. I can say that now.
Back in my days.
Back in my days, we went to school uphill both ways. But sebab diorang tak lalu benda tu, diorang tak ada every hujung minggu basuh kasut, kapur kasut. Kita zaman kita lupa nak basuh kasut, basuh, kapur, letak belakang icebox. Supaya dia kering cepat.
That's the thing juga tau. Macam when you think about it, did that discipline dulu membantu you as a person?
Yes.
Now that you bekerja, was it good?
It teaches you to take pride in your, bukan untuk bangga, tapi take pride in your kemas.
So disiplin yang kita instill masa sekolah,
Yes.
masa kita
Things like badan beruniform, it helps. It helps. It helps. When you don your uniform, it helps. Zaman sekolah aku dulu, PBSM. And
I see.
PBSM punya uniform is white.
Putih from
Yes.
top to bottom.
Top to bottom, except for those shoes. Black. Other than that, it's white.
Ada beret.
White ada beret. White glove. Beret is tak blue. Tapi ada glove putih. Everything is putih. Try to smash that, people will see it from afar because it's white. You get?
Kerana masa dekat sekolah
yeah.
pun, kalau pagi-pagi perempuan, kalau you datang kasut kotor, makan kena je cikgu.
Ni kuku panjang?
Tapi it helps in that sense. Cuma nak kata yang it 100% works on everyone. That tactic of disciplining through threat of punishment ataupun fear. It works for some. It may not work for everyone.
But if it works for 80% of the people, it's good enough.
True. But I think pada masa yang sama, with the advent of new technology, kita ada banyak lagi pengetahuan tentang child development. Maybe kita boleh consider researching further, looking in. I have to admit, up to one point masa I sekolah, I takut lagi sekolah. Because takut apa, homework tak siap ke, ataupun benda tak kena, ataupun menangis sebab, of course, ni salah I sendiri. Kasut I lupa kapur, ataupun lupa nak tak belakang fridge tak kering. And takut lah, tapi that fear, I have to be honest, to this day, kadang-kadang nak ingat nak pergi sekolah balik tu.
That's why,
You tahu tak benda yang takut lagi apa? Kalau you dengar bunyi kring, kat mana pun, to this very day, kalau bunyi loceng tu, I mana kira sebab takut lambat dah kelas dah start ke? That fear, sebab masa tu, tiba-tiba sekolah yang orang duk bising-bising, tiba senyap.
yes, everybody
Dan
goes
nampak guru disiplin berjalan.
But it does help. But the funny thing is that I haven't been back in Sabah for many years. Ever since aku datang sini belajar and kerja kat sini and everything. I went back to Sabah earlier this year with my old friends. What is sorry?
Road trip.
Road trip. Old friends from school yang lama, diorang pun dah lama tak balik Sabah. This and that. So we went back to Sabah and we visited our old school. We tanya permission, cakap dengan the security guard kat sana. And we enter, we just want to take a walk down memory lane. So remember lah kat mana where the canteen is. Kita orang sekolah ada 2 kantin.
Okay.
One Chinese punya style food, the other one is Malay style food.
Dahsyat korang.
Dahsyat. Kita orang sekolah dahsyat. Everything looks smaller, dude.
But your friends yang berzaman tu, yang ni yang kena rotan, where are they now? Has it worked out for them?
Yes. I'm happy to say that kita orang jarang kena rotan because again nerd squad.
Okay.
Jarang kena. Bukan tak pernah kena. Tapi jarang lah. Tapi pernah kena, and it really teaches us macam jangan buat itulah.
Would you say, in your opinion, did sparing the rod or not sparing the rod
Helps us a lot, yes. Our generation, maybe I think we are lucky because I think cikgu-cikgu zaman kita pun, I credit my teachers for me turning out like I am right now. Dengan garang dia, dengan ni. But they're not garang because of diorang nak jadi garang. Tak, dia garang bila kita buat salah. But I'm happy after school, I still keep in contact with some of them, termasuk aku punya cikgu yang aku takut dulu, which is aku punya cikgu BM was nice, cikgu
Kalau kau nak ingat semua cikgu kau.
additional mathematics punya cikgu yang menakutkan. But I'm on Facebook, I see dia punya
So
updates.
shout out to all cikgu.
Shout out to all cikgu.
Shout out to all cikgus and the hard work that they've given
yeah.
us and
The
the
third most
changing
an
times.
important person in our lives will be the cikgu. This
Yeah.
your mother, your father, and your
yeah.
cikgu.
Oh, definitely. I'm so thankful to many of my teachers, and I think we were lucky that we were given that much care and love, and we were given that much attention, and alhamdulillah, we turned out to be good people. But itulah at the same time, I think before we bring back corporal punishment, so orang kata implement balik, much research needs to be done.
Yeah.
Because times people,
But we cannot take too much time to research and not implementing
I
something.
agree, I agree with you. But benda macam ni is not something kita boleh gopoh.
Tak, betul. That part is
Something
correct,
kita boleh
yeah.
gopoh because it's
It-
very much different. Like it or
And
not,
it affects a child with growth. So that's why tak boleh gopoh.
betul. So I think that discipline that we got from the schools really did help us, and maybe the future generations should get at least
A helping
dose,
hand.
a good helping hand, good dose of that. But at the same time, maybe metered and
Yeah.
tempered
Untempered.
according. So let's have one last round of questions, comments yang from everyone. Okay, we have one here from, okay, depending on the severity of the offence jugalah. Kalau kesalahan tak kena dengan offence, then maybe guru disiplin can manage other means punishment. We agree. We agree.
Totally agree.
Sebab I would also think that rotan, as with any form of corporal punishment, should be the last resort.
Correct.
Should be the last. Sebab anak tu bukan lembu.
Betul.
Okay, kalau boleh develop cara betul, boleh. And also nowadays kita dah mula recognize that some children has needs, special needs.
Betul?
Okay, nowadays because zaman kita dulu just kelas cepat, kelas lambat. Ada yang tak check pun sama ada this child has any learning disability. Kadang-kadang it's not dia tak nak buat,
Dia
tak
tak
faham.
boleh buat.
ataupun cara yang dia ajar tu mungkin cara tu dia
Tak kena dengan dia.
tak faham. I'm victim of one. I remember when during high school I was very bad at maths. Sangat teruk. I sampai jumpa cikgu counselor. Tolonglah cikgu. Saya tak ada maths, tak ada ke mana. I was in the engineering course at that time. Okay. Lukisan kejuruteraan, teknologi kejuruteraan. And then cikgu, alhamdulillah cikgu.
And you turn out to be a lawyer.
Yes, that's a long and winding road.
Yes.
A story for another day. But I remember cikgu tu helped me out.
Ah.
Dia sent a different teacher to teach in my class. Bashirah, I'm still thankful to her to this day. And that helped me. So it's not just kalau dia tak buat tu, bukannya tak nak. Bukan dia
Betul.
nak melawan. Mungkin dia tak. Okay. So I think we've come to the end of our
Yes.
show today. I'm sorry for any kesilapan or any kekurangan. It's our first ever episode that went live and kita guna stream to multiple venues. There may have been miscoms or some people not getting views video, but we will be posting it up. Okay, we'll be posting it up on our platforms and hopefully you guys can watch the ones yang dah siap. And please, I beg you, tolonglah.
Maybe also the other thing is that you want to ask about the timing?
Okay. That's a few of our friends and family ada query. Okay, there's kita punya show ni starts at 7 PM. Some kata macam time tu tak sesuai. Others would suggest some other time. So do comment. What do you think would be the best time for you guys to watch? Kita punya intention is for you to watch the show, put it on your handphone screen ke, while you're stuck in a jam. Just listening to us sembang-sembang, gelak-gelak. If you have something to comment, and if you can comment, remember, do not type while driving.
Do not SMS and drive.
Don't text and drive.
Don't text and drive. That's the word. Yeah.
So that's the idea, to catch you in a jam, to help you through the end of your day. Untuk kita duduk, kita sembang. You guys ada suggestions for other times? Please put it up on the chat and we'll go through. We read every single thing. Okay, and if you don't mind supporting us in our venture, so we can get better coffee.
Oh well, this is good. This is good enough. I like this.
No, we need to bring the coffee snob.
Oh, you need to bring the coffee snob. You're
So
right,
that
you're
one will incur cost. So hopefully you guys can help us out with that. Maybe liking or subscribing, leave a comment. for the future.
Hold on. I know this. Hold on. Like, comment, and subscribe. Here we go. See, I watch enough YouTube videos to know this set of words.
Oh man. Also guys, if you guys have any other topic yang you guys nak kita orang go through and talk about, give us a comment. And kalau nak, korang nak kita orang panggil siapa-siapa ke, give us a heads up. We'll try our best to attend to any of your comments. Okay? So anyway, from me, Azad, and from
Call me Ding.
Thanks for watching guys. I hope to see you guys on the next one.
Yep. See you.
Bye bye.